Hello again. How's it going? I hope it's going very well. I'm doing fine myself. Thank you so much for asking. I don't know if you could tell from this lighting, but it's actually pretty cloudy right now. And it has been raining a lot here in Los Angeles, which is actually very out of the ordinary. So, in turn, I'm kind of limited in creating a video here in my apartment because I don't want to go out there in the rain because none of my gear is rainproof, and I have kind of an interesting topic for you guys to talk about while here in my apartment anyways. And as you saw from the intro sequence, I got a new phone. A new iPhone X to be exact. Not the XS, but the regular X. Personally, I really wasn't sold on the extra features that the XS offered, and I figured I could just save the $300 because the phone was already expensive as it is, but that is kind of besides the point. Today we're going to be talking about how my new phone is contributing to my pursuit of a more intentional life. Now, on the surface, you guys might be thinking to yourself, what in the world? Like, this guy says he's a minimalist, but then he goes out and buys a new iPhone. How is that even going to remotely be able to tie into minimalism at all? And there's just this kind of misconception about minimalism that a lot of people who I talk to about it will kind of just assume that it means getting by with less stuff in general, never upgrading anything, just getting everything secondhand, etc., etc. And to some people, they might define that as their form of minimalism, but that is definitely not the only way to do it. I'm going to kind of talk about the reasons why I think that it was time for me to get a new phone, and that it's also going to help me be more intentional with everything that I do in life. So right off the bat, I want to first say that I had my old phone, which was an iPhone 6S, for 3 years or so. I don't know how long it's been out, but it feels to be about 3 years. Over the course of those 3 years, I don't know about you guys and your phone using habits, but for me at least, I found myself stockpiling a bunch of unnecessary garbage that I really had no use for, that being extra photos, contacts. My email list was just the whole email account was just completely spammed over. I had like thousands of unread emails. It was really just eating away every time I saw that little red notification. You guys all know if you have an iPhone that says how many unread messages you have, and I just had thousands. So that was absolutely maddening. Apps that I kind of downloaded on a whim because I didn't think about whether or not I would actually be getting use out of the apps. I just went ahead and downloaded them because I thought it sounded cool. Maybe used it once, maybe not even used it once, and they just found a home on my home screen where they lived forever untouched. Now, I feel like this accumulation of all this useless stuff on your phone is kind of the general direction that most people lean towards while using phones in general, but of course there's the exception of the people who use their phone with more intention, and you're actually taking time to think about and really just give a lot of thought to the photos you're taking, the people you're messaging, and the apps you're downloading. I decided for this purchase that I was going to be starting a new iCloud account. I had the old iCloud account since I was probably like maybe 13 or 14, had the iPhone 4 or whatever it was at that time. And it was cool because, I held on to these contacts and these memories and all this stuff that I've had ever since then. But it's also kind of been weighing me down and tying me back in the sense that I just have all this junk and accumulation. And I've changed a lot since I was that age, so there's stuff buried deep in there somewhere that I know I don't really value anymore. I don't want that to be a part of my life because it's not in real life, so why do I want it to be cluttering my digital space? So I went ahead and I created a new iCloud account for my new phone. Now, of course, there's the obvious problem of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to start all over again. I'm gonna have to get all my new photos onto my computer. I'm gonna have to get in my contacts and blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's true, and it might be very inconvenient for some people, but me personally, I believe that it's worth it, and it's kind of like a cleansing of your digital space that I've been for so long desiring to do. It's something that I know that, and I knew, and I was fully aware that I needed to do this in order to have more peace of mind. Starting from this point forward, I want to be a lot more intentional and aware of the things that I'm doing with my phone and the things that are going into my phone. Now, I'm gonna show you guys a few strategies that I'm going to be implementing to not only transfer everything to my new phone, but also to begin using my phone with a lot more intention moving forward. Let's just go do that. Now the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and start to copy things from your old phone into your new one manually. Now this is something that automatically gets done on iCloud if you are continuing using the same iCloud account, but I decided to start a new one, so I have to do it manually. Now, a good thing about going through your contacts and manually inputting the new ones into your new phone is that you can get rid of some of the contacts that you no longer have anything to do with, or ones that you never had anything to do with in the first place. The next area that we can go ahead and start to transfer valuable things to is our photo album. Now, for some of us, this might be much harder than for others because we tend to accumulate tons and tons of photos. But for me, I pretty much didn't really care about the solid majority of the pictures that I had on my old phone, so this step wasn't too hard at all. Finally, you can go through your different home screens and pick the apps to re-download that really bring value to your life. Only choose ones that you actually use because it is so easy to download apps on a whim thinking that you will use it and you end up not using them. Now, the last strategy that I'm going to be talking about that I'm implementing into my life in order to use my phone more intentionally is a somewhat regular, scheduled cleansing of your phone, so to say. Now, what I mean by this is maybe once a week, I'm thinking, as of now, I'm going to take the time to go into my phone and just clear out any of the unnecessary junk that I'm either done with or never needed in the first place. For example, I'm going to take the time to go ahead and delete all old message threads. Now, if the thought of doing this is a little bit frightening to you because you don't want to lose conversations that you've had with people that might be valuable, go ahead and disregard this specific step with the messages. But things also like any of these little red notifications, I always like to go in and see what they're trying to notify me of and do what I can to get rid of them. That one doesn't seem, oh, here we go. So yeah, I mean, things like that in the messages, you don't even necessarily have to limit yourself to doing only once a week, but you could even just do it as you go, as your day goes by. If you notice something that needs attention, another little red marker, you just go ahead and see what it needs and you exit out. That way you don't have any of those little annoying red notifications reminding you that there's either an update or somebody sent you something or whatever. There's a whole slew of reasons why you could have those little things, but it's good to go in and just get rid of them. Another way that you could cleanse your phone is, well, I already showed you that I delete my emails as I go now too, so I don't have anything in my mailbox to show at the time. But always close your apps too, your background apps, on a side note, because those kill your battery. And it also, in my opinion, adds clutter to your digital space, which we're trying to minimize here, remember? Another thing that you can do is periodically go through your photos and, you know, maybe go through things that you realize you probably don't need to keep. Photos that you might have taken on a whim and forgot that you even had them. I, for one, on my old phone had so many photos that I would never go back and look at. I don't even know why I had them. And that alone weighed on my mind a lot of the time. I just was aware. It's not, even if you're not consciously thinking of it, it's something that you're aware of. And I think that awareness, all these little things that raise awareness to how much clutter we have in our lives, they all add up to a feeling of, I don't know, just unrest, unsettlingness. I don't know, guys. It's just, I think it's best to limit the amount of things that we have cluttering our lives, especially in our digital space, because it's so easy to let that get out of hand and out of track. So that's pretty much everything I had to say, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. I hope that you guys are able to take something from what I've said and implement it into your own lives. Please do like the video if you found it beneficial in any way. Make sure to subscribe if you want to continue to watch more content from me in the future. Turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss any videos. And I will see you in the next one.